With almost 2,000 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience, it's no surprise that there have been a couple of pretty heated arguments. And we're going to kick the video off by looking at one between Joe and a guest by the name of Candace Owens, who initiated the conflict after stating, in a very smug way, that humans don't need to. Candace wasn't in a position to make this claim. Things became even worse when Jamie brought up a website to support Joe's side of the argument.
Vast majority, 87% of scientists said that human activity is driving global warming.
Yeah, I don't believe this at all, just so you know.
Which resulted in Candace implying that they were specifically searching for data to support what Joe already believed.
I guess look up the opposite.
Eddie Bravo was significantly more stubborn, who found himself in an argument with Joe after refusing to let go of the idea that the Earth was flat.
Show me a real picture. Show me a real picture.
Listen, NASA does not have one of those satellites.
Fake.
Why does it look fake?
It looks like something you would see in a movie.
That's because when they do it in a movie, they try to make it look like this, which is what looks real. Why would it be fake?
It's propaganda, man.
After Eddie kicked off the argument by claiming that every round picture of the Earth is fake, Joe continued the conversation by requesting to see a legitimate photo of a flat Earth.
Is there a photo of this flat Earth?
No, like I just said again.
That's what I asked.
There's no photo of the flat Earth from space. There's no photo of the round Earth from space.
That's not true. That's not true.
It's all fake.
No, why do you say they're fake, though?
They look fake. They look CGI.
But you're not an expert in imagery.
After being backed into a corner, Eddie made the argument that the sources Joe was using were being paid for to keep the conspiracy going.
Where did you get this information?
Jamie.
Where'd you get it?
Where'd I get what?
This information. What is this coming from?
This is coming off the internet.
Exactly. So you're reading some information. I'm reading some information off the internet. You didn't go to the library. It's on Wikipedia.
Just slow down.
Eddie, stop doing
There's
that.
sources here. There's a book called the American Journal of Science. I'm sure that a lot of people respect
which is
that.
bought and paid for.
Well, maybe.
Why would anybody be paying money for people to lie about the world spinning?
Which is followed by Eddie stating that there was no evidence to confirm that the Earth was in fact spinning.
Eddie, people have known it's spinning forever. That's how the seasons
Gravity,
work.
baby.
That's how you see the sun. We spin around. That's why it makes
explain this
eclipses.
to me.
That's why
you can track time zones. That's why you can put a piece of stick in the ground.
You're saying all the correct shit.
It acts as a sundial.
After over 40 minutes of back and forth between the two, Joe completely lost it.
Eddie.
I used to say the same
Eddie,
stuff.
you're talking about the Earth being flat. Thousands of scientists have looked into it. You think they're all wrong? That's so insane.
You haven't looked into it.
I have.
No, you have.
Oh, my God. How could I not have? You don't think I have? Eddie, there's websites dedicated to debunking it. There's so many people working on these things, Eddie. The idea that they're all in on some sort of a giant global lie is insane.
However, while this argument could certainly be dismissed as a bit of banter between two friends, the same can't be said for the argument between Joe and Matt Walsh, who began the heated exchange after claiming that gay marriage shouldn't be allowed, as it threatens the institution of traditional marriage.
Why are you opposed to two gay people doing that?
It's not about choice. It's about what this institution, marriage is an institution, and what is it, and what purpose does it serve?
Joe then made the point that a gay marriage doesn't damage a straight marriage in any way, to which Matt responded with the following point.
Getting married in any way, shape, or form changes a bond that you have with your wife.
To which Matt responded with the following point.
If marriage is not what I'm saying it is, why do we even need it? A thing that actually exists, which are man, woman couples creating babies.
But after Matt stated that the point of a marriage was for a man and a woman to make babies, Joe questioned the following.
If marriage is only for procreation and to bond a family together, what about people that are deeply in love that never want to have children?
I don't think it's not only procreation.
Right, but if people want to be married and don't want to ever have children, are you opposed to them being married?
I think this would be a couple that is rejecting one of the fundamental aspects of marriage. They should be open to life. I would hope that in the future they would be.
It seemed as though Joe and Matt could have argued back and forth for hours on end. But what happens when Joe invites one of his haters onto the podcast? This is what happened with Brian Dunning, who had written an article claiming that Joe was one of 10 celebrities who promote harmful pseudoscience, in which he'd write, comedian Joe Rogan does what he can to promote virtually any conspiracy theory that he stumbles onto, apparently accepting them all uncritically with a wholesome embrace. He believes the Apollo astronauts did not land on the moon. He believes the US government was behind the 9/11 terrorist attacks. He believes the Oliver Stone version of the Kennedy assassination. He believes that aliens crashed at Roswell in 1947. And the government is covering it up. Joe, if you're going to put so much effort into promoting conspiracy theories and eroding what little rationality the public has left, at least have the courage to come forward with a cogent argument and well-sourced evidence, Instead of the lameness of I'm just the guy asking questions, take the responsibility. Joe would take this responsibility by inviting Dunning onto the podcast, which resulted in a 3-hour back and forth arguing about everything, beginning with conspiracy theories.
It's just factually inaccurate on so many different levels. I don't understand why you wrote it like that. Like, there's things that you said that I believe that I don't, that I've never said that I do.
Before eventually concluding with diet and alcohol.
It's not correct. That's not the way the body works. That's not the way the digestion system works. When you say that there's a supplement that can prevent you from getting drunk, you're, I'm sorry, you are against all reasonably established science, and you're trying to make a buck off of people potentially getting killed. And I had a huge problem with that to the point that I had to turn the show off.
However, if we're on the topic of diet and alcohol, then we have to look at the Joe Rogan Experience number 1267, which became one of Joe's most heated episodes, after two opposing diet specialists began to argue about nutrition.
This
Oh, wait, can
energy.
I
No,
comment on
Gary,
that
you talked
study?
for a long time, and I'm going to talk for as long as I want now.
Throughout the whole episode, the two guests were compelled to agree on almost anything.
What do you
It's-
disagree with?
Well, virtually everything.
Joe Rogan is pretty good at keeping his cool whenever things get spicy. However, in a recent episode with Dave Portnoy, Joe struggled to keep his cool after Dave stated that Tommy Fury wasn't a real boxer.
I saw Tommy Fury box. He is not a boxer.
Well, he's definitely a boxer.
Well, he puts on gloves.
He's definitely a boxer.
Dave went on to make the point that Tommy was only famous due to his brother's name.
We would not know who Tommy Fury was if his last name wasn't Fury.
Probably we wouldn't know as much about him.
I don't.
But he's still a good-looking guy. He's built great. He looks
Well,
like
those are-
he
yeah.
looks the part.
Looks the part.
And while the conversation was somewhat amicable in the beginning, the tension escalated after Jamie pulled up a video of Tommy Fury's boxing.
Look at this. Look at this. He's fighting a professional boxer. The guy's fighting looks good. Dude, you're crazy if you don't think Tommy Fury's a
I don't
boxer.
think-
Look at that uppercut. Watch this.
Find
Look,
the
just
Tommy
look at
Fury.
this.
Find
Dude.
the Tommy Fury fight. Can you
You're
find me the
just
record of
watch
Volkanovski?
this. Stop. Watch this. Watch this. Look at this. You're out of your mind if you don't. Look at this.
What
Look
did
at that
you
right
think
hand.
that was in slow motion.
No,
I
it's
think.
not in slow motion.
I think you slowed that down.
No, he is 100% a legitimate professional boxer. If you don't think so, you're just being a hater.
The argument between Joe and Dave felt like it was coming from A. However, Joe Rogan's argument with Adam Conover was significantly less friendly, which began when Adam stated that he saw nothing wrong with transgender athletes.
That's not competing on a level playing field. It's not fair. It's as much cheating as taking steroids when the other person doesn't.
I disagree, and I've.
What do you disagree about?
2017 argument with Steven Crowder, which began with Steven stating that the legalization of weed has led to an increase in motor vehicle accidents.
Traffic fatalities regarding marijuana have skyrocketed.
Google that, because that's nonsense.
No,
you
we
know,
wrote about it at livebetter.com.
drunk driving arrests have dropped. What do you mean you've? What, first of all,
No, we wrote about what the sources
first of
are, the
all,
original studies.
Steven then tried to convince Joe that he didn't really care about the use of weed.
I don't care about it.
Yeah, you do.
I don't care.
You're the guy that thinks people should be able to do whatever. You're a free
Yes,
market guy,
that's
right?
what I just said.
So if you're a free
Smoke
market
pot.
guy, why wouldn't you be in support of something, whether it's the most
I just
beneficial
said I am.
or equally
I just
beneficial?
said I am.
But you're not necessarily, because
I
you're
am.
you're denying.
But because right
you're
now of the
denying
chemical.
Which is followed by Joe mocking Steven for his attitude.
things that are good. And don't shore, man. Just like you don't shore turmeric, you don't shore ginger, you don't shore a reduced sugar diet. All those things that reduce inflammation are good for you.
I don't buy that smoking marijuana would be as beneficial as a reduced sugar diet.
After bringing up a study to support Joe's point, the following exchange ensued.
Marijuana legalization, highway fatalities in Colorado are at
Hold on a
near
second.
historic lows.
You haven't bringing up the source that you want to find.
Washington
Bring up the
Post.
study right there. Yeah, Washington Post. Bring up the study that we wrote. We wrote about it on our website.
Look, I don't care about your website. Since marijuana legalization, highway fatalities in Colorado
Since you
are
called me
at
hold on a second.
near
Since you called me, hold on a second. Since you called me,
And after Joe sobered up the following day, he issued an apology for the way he acted during one of the most heated arguments in Joe Rogan history.